Reporter for HawgBeat.com, covering all things Arkansas athletics on the Rivals Network. Nikki, I saw. Did you go home for the Easter holiday? How was your trip?
I did. It was really nice. First time on a plane in like a year.
Oh, there you go.
Well, how'd that make you feel? Were you a little uneasy? Was everything all right?
I wasn't used to like the takeoff and like touchdown feeling, but it was all good.
Okay, very good.
Well done.
Very, very good. I'm going to get your thoughts on last night's college basketball championship game. For me, the story was much more about Baylor just playing at an incredibly high level. I think they might have – I know they didn't play their best in the tournament until they faced Arkansas, but until then, from that point on, like they played six pretty incredible halves of basketball, and that was an impressive performance last night. I don't view it as Gonzaga choking. I just view it as Baylor really being that good.
No, yeah, I'm upset that I didn't put some money down on them after they beat Arkansas. I think that game just showed that they were just going to be hard to beat by anybody at this point. Like their guards are so dominant and hard to stop and versatile and capable of scoring and different ways that I would have made a lot of money probably, but yeah, it was a great game, and I think it reflects well on Arkansas that they were able to keep it close.
Well, that's what that was the next thing I wanted to get to, because we do see with our own eyes that no team in this tournament played Baylor any better than Arkansas did. Though I think Villanova had a lead against them at the half. But that might have been a little more about Baylor not playing great in that first half. Baylor played a full 40 minutes against Arkansas. And other than the first chunk of the game, which, gosh, it just still hate saying that over and over because it was a broken record thing for the Razorbacks this postseason. Other than that first chunk, no other team played with Gonzaga any better than Arkansas. But Muss and other coaches, Nikki, will tell you that, you got to be careful as to putting it in those terms, because every matchup is different. Just because Baylor ran through Houston doesn't mean Arkansas would have done the same. So I do agree. I think it reflects well on the Hogs. I just wonder to what degree I can take that.
I just think that if Note had been in that game, things would have gone so much differently down the stretch, and so we'll always kind of wonder. But yeah, definitely, I mean, things could have gone either way against Houston. It all just depends on the matchup.
Nikki Chavanelle joining us here on halftime. Nikki, I want to try and get this thing over to Razorback basketball for just a second. And when you see some of this recruiting news, or not recruiting news, excuse me, some of this transfer news, and Xavier Pinson, former Missouri point guard, is listed to narrow down his top four. Arkansas is included in that mix, and also a Toledo player has named Arkansas in his top four as well, Marion Jackson. What says you about some of these transfers that could come this way? We'll just start with Xavier Pinson. Do you think that he ends up in a Razorback uniform?
It was looking like Arkansas might be a favorite there with Pinson. Obviously, they have a history playing against him. He had 2 23-point games versus the Razorbacks this season. But he's also got Auburn, Georgia, and Nebraska in his Final Four. And given that I think Arkansas only takes one point guard type transfer, it's looking like they might get the Miami point guard, the 5'7" point guard, Chris Likes. And he's just looking more likely. I'm not sure, how everything's going on behind the scenes. If maybe Pinson moved on or whatever, but it's looking like Likes might be the guy at that small guard spot.
Well, you've seen some of these bigs that Arkansas is already going to get in here. You got the Little Rock transfer that came in late in the year, and you're already returning Connor Vanover. You've got Jalen Williams coming back. So I think, to me, Nikki, is Musselman and the coaching staff really going to focus on guard play, not necessarily just point guard altogether, but the 1, 2s, and 3s of this team in the transfer portal?
I think you could, see additions at all, kind of 3 flexible spots with, he mentioned an emphasis on people who are positionless. So maybe a smaller type forward like the Jaden Gardner. I really like him from East Carolina. I think they have a use for some guys everywhere, but for the big men, I just don't think it's as important to get someone who is, an automatic starter as much as they need shooters, on the perimeter.
Going to football just for a second, I assume because when we started this thing off, Phil said that you traveled to home for Easter, so you weren't at the scrimmage this past Saturday, correct?
I was not. No, we had a team effort reporting sightings from the scrimmage this weekend.
Okay, so from what you've seen so far, just with different things that Sam Pittman has said during his press conferences and different social media clips and anything about that, do you think we're in for a little bit more of a quarterback competition than what we might be led on to believe? Because I think heading into this is KJ Jefferson's job to lose, and I think that's kind of the route that everybody was thinking. But for the way Jefferson's been playing and the accuracy's been off, and the same can maybe be said for a little bit for Malik Hornsby, do you think we're in for a little bit more of a competition than what we originally maybe have thought?
I mean, from what I've seen, it just doesn't look like, Hornsby is much of a more accurate thrower than Jefferson is. I think KJ's just going to, continue to refine his game up until next season. I still think he ends up being the starter when the season kicks off. And I think it would take, a multi-interception performance for him to, end up losing it and then them moving on to someone else. But I'm just not sure, any other quarterback right now on campus, has all of the things that KJ has, the leadership, the team support, the knowledge of the offense, and already having, played in an SEC game with a certain level of success.
I want to stay with football here for a moment, Nikki. We're hearing good things about the secondary during this spring season. We already know about Jalen, but Simeon Blair, Greg Brooks, hearing really good things about those guys. This was the top unit defensively for Arkansas. Is it going to be the top unit defensively for them again next year?
It really does seem that way. Even though it's kind of a younger group, the talent overall in those two rooms, safeties and corners, it's higher than any other group on campus. Even the wide receivers, they just play with half as many on the field at once. So you don't always notice that, but they have a lot more depth this year. And I think that having all these younger players who've gone through two really tough seasons together and are now achieving a level of success, there's no way that it takes a step back, in my opinion.
I got a question on our text line here from Chandler and Van Buren. Wanted to ask about Devin Bush. And I'd forgotten about him, but it was a big get when he decided to come to Arkansas. He was hurt last year, right? Well, what's up with Devin Bush?
Yeah, he was hurt. I don't remember 100% what it was. I think his mom might have posted it on our message board. I can't remember off the top of my head. But, yeah, she said he was hurt. And we do, hear from him from time to time. He'll post on social media, don't count me out, stuff like that. But at this point, I just can't really consider him in the picture. He just hasn't done really much of anything since he's been here. And there seems to be, two very solid levels of ones and twos right now for them. So it'll be hard for him to push back, especially, what I've seen from him so far, he's been limited with injury still. Okay,
yeah. That's too bad because, I remember when he signed with Arkansas, it did seem like a big deal at that moment, but that's what recruiting will happen sometimes. So what is going on with football recruiting right now? Are there any commits you may expect anytime soon? I saw you'd written about Trey Emery, who has Arkansas in his top 6. Tell us about him, too.
Yeah, he's a 3-star defensive tackle, 6'3", 300 pounds, from Mount Pleasant, Texas. He's got Baylor, SMU, Arizona, a couple others, TCU. He's already scheduled official visits for Oklahoma State and Baylor and Arizona. So not 100% sure where he is with the Hogs just in terms of their, preferences. I know that they're, saving room for Nico DeVilliers down at Maumelle High School. So They don't want to, fill up spots early. And so I just don't think he got like an early official visit invite, maybe down in the season. But yeah, good to see them at least, still in the mix there. As far as commitments, Faison Wilson, I think he was asked to delay a decision just so they could get more eyes on him. Don't think they're going to take more than 3 wide receivers, so to have those evals down is really important.
Okay. And Nikki, appreciate you. Have a great week. Thanks so much, as always, for all you do with us, and looking forward to getting into more spring football next week.
Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks, guys.
It's Nikki Chavanelle, managing editor, Rivals.com, joining us every Tuesday. And you can get with us at 877-377-6963. Want to remind you about Wheels RV in Springdale. They want you to seek out all that the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, Alliance, all the best brands at the best prices. You'll also enjoy peace of mind with the lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle that'll keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. They're 5 miles west off I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. And we'll wrap the first hour of halftime up right after this.